What's up everybody, my name is Gabriel Showole, but you already know you can call me Kayshow. In today's After Effects tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create an action title animation inside of After Effects, just like this one. But before then, intro. Welcome back guys. Creating an action title animation in After Effects is not as hard as you think. All you need to do is to follow these steps that I'm going to be showing you right now on my laptop screen. Okay guys, so now we are inside of After Effects. The first thing is to create a new composition. So I'll go to composition, new composition. Let me name this action title or something. Then 1920 1080 30 frames per second, and then my duration, let me set it to 4 seconds, and then I'll click OK. Okay, so the next thing is to type in our text. So I'll come to T here, click here and type sports. All right, and then let me just change this to about 350, put that somewhere here. All right, I can Ctrl C, Ctrl V to duplicate this text. Double click to edit and type action. Okay, come here and then change this to maybe 200. Great. I'll select both of them, turn on the title action save, and try to center the text. Okay, it's looking good right there. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is select both text and then press P to bring up position, and I'll go somewhere around 6 frames here, or let's do 8 frames, and then I'll click on the stopwatch. Then I'll go back to the very beginning, okay, and click on this first keyframe and first text and drag it all the way out, and come to this second text, hold down shift and drag all the way out. Okay, so if you hit the play button, you can see what we have right there. All right, looking good. All right, now so I'll select all the keyframes right there. All right, and then right click, go to keyframe assistant, and then choose easy ease, or you can press F9 on your keyboard. Okay, so the next thing is you click on the graph editor and click here, and then select both of them and change the graph to something like this. Okay, looking good. Click here to turn it off, and so let's see what it looks like now. Okay, great. Okay, so we'll also add motion blur to what we have now, because we have fast movement happening right here. Okay, so let me bring this closer a little bit and let's see. Okay, so that's faster. To add motion blur here, I'll come to my toggle/switches and click on that. Click here to add motion blur, then click on this big one to add motion blur also, so you can see that blurriness, you know, applied to our text. So now let's create a new composition. Go to composition, new composition. We're gonna name it lines. The height, we're gonna make that 200. Okay, this should remain 1920. Okay, so this will be, turn this off. This should be 1920, and then this should be 200, and frame rate 30 seconds. This will make it 10 seconds long. Okay, and then we click OK. Great. Okay, so let me turn off my title action save. Then grab your pen tool, go to fill and turn it off. So you make sure you turn off fill, click OK, and also make sure the stroke is around 10. Okay, so I'll use the pen tool to draw a straight line. I'll come here, click somewhere here, and then come right here, click right there, Okay, and that should give me a straight line. Okay, make sure the color is white, and then I'll also come somewhere here, click, oops, I'll click out first, and then I'll come somewhere here, click, and then also come here and click to draw a straight line, and I'll change the width of that to maybe 3. All right, so there we have it. Okay, let me move this closer, move it closer to this one. Boom, right there. Okay, great. All right, so now let's create a new adjustment layer. So we'll go to layer, new adjustment layer, and then the next is to go to bring up our effect and presets. All right, and then under that we want to look for linear wipe. So search for linear wipe. Okay, so right there I'll drag that from transition, drag that and put that on my adjustment layer right here. Okay, so select the adjustment layer, go to effect control, and then I want to change this to 270. All right, and then I'll come back to the beginning of my time, and the transition completion I want to change that to 100, so that takes it off. And then I'll go to the end and change it, oops, sorry, at the beginning change it to 100%, and then set a keyframe. So click here to set a keyframe, then go back to the end, and then come here and change it back to 0. So we have something like this. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, so the next thing is to go back to the action title composition and go back to project, grab that line composition and drop it on top of our text right there. Okay, you want to come here and set the timing, so somewhere around here is where it should begin. So I'll come here and move this back right there, and then I'll bring up my line, drag it and put one right here, so to come with this, come up with this T right here. And let me just scale that down a little bit so it matches my text. So I'll just bring up S, scale it down a little bit, and still match it right there. So looking good, I like it right there. So if I press play, you can see what we have right there. All right, then I'll come here, Ctrl C, Ctrl V to duplicate that. Okay, and I'll take that and put that, rotate, bring up my rotation to rotate that. So I'll press rotation to right here and rotate this the way I like it. So rotate, go back to your selection tool until you're able to position it the way you want it. Okay, I think this should do. And I'll put that right here. Okay, bring up my scale and scale that down a little bit too, right there, and then reposition it. Position it right there. Okay, so let me play this back. Okay, so I need to adjust this some more, just a little bit more. Great, so I have it where I want it. Then one more, I'll select this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V one more time, and rotate this also up, and bring it, adjust it. I want to put it somewhere right here, so I'll rotate it some more. Okay. Okay, so select all layers, just move them forward a little bit, some frames, and let's play that back. Great, so we like what we see now. Okay, so with all layers selected, we'll right click and then choose pre-compose, and we're going to name this text right there. or I could name it text 1 and then click OK. So there we have it. Okay, so the next thing we want to do now is to bring in our footages, and I'm just going to go to file, or let me just drag and drop. So I'll just select them right here, drag and drop into my composition or into my project. Okay, so let me rename this metal texture. And let me rename this rocky background. Okay, so the first thing is to bring in this metal texture. Go back to my action title right here. Okay, so the next thing is to bring in this metal texture, drag it into my text right here, and then change the track matte of my text 1 to Luma matte. So I'll come to track matte. If I can't see track matte here, I'll come to toggle switches / mode, click on that, and I can change the track matte from none to Luma matte. And you can see how that applies to the text. Okay, so I'll come back to the effect and preset, search for tint, and drag that and drop it on my text 1 layer. Alright, so I'll come to map to white, click on that and change that to red. Alright, you're free to choose your own color. So let me just choose a red, color right there. Alright, so let's create a new composition and call that the main composition. Main composition. Alright, and make sure to change your height back to 1080, and this I'm going to change it to 4 seconds, and I'll click OK. Okay, so we'll go back to project, grab our rocky background, drop that into the timeline, and we'll come to this place to be able to make this 3D. So you click here to make it 3D. Okay, so now we need to create we need to kind of reduce the background a little bit. So I'll press T here and come to 100 here and reduce the opacity to about 50%. Okay, great. Okay, so the next thing is to create a light. So I'll come here, right click, choose new and select light, and then my name of the light, I'm just going to name this point light 1, and the light type is point. Then the color, I'm going to use red, so the red I've been using, and then the intensity 395, or let's do 390, and then the fall off smooth, all of these other settings the way they are, and then I'll click OK. So it gives me something like this, and I can come and adjust it right here to kind of be in the middle. Great. And then I'll select the light, press P for position, and decrease the Z amount a little bit. Okay, perfect. Okay, next thing is to go to your project panel and drag this action title and drop it above right here. Then go to the effect control panel and search for glow. But before that, let me just come right here, click on the rocky background, click on T and reduce the opacity some more so that we can still see more of the text. Then I'll go to my effect control, search for glow, drag that and drop it on my action title. Okay, looking good. Okay, so we'll come to the effect control and reduce the glow threshold to maybe let's see what we have here. Okay, to maybe 46, and then the glow radius, we can take that to maybe about 37 right there. Okay, so you can see what we have so far. Okay, so come here, click on Ctrl D and duplicate this glow effect right there, and then come to this second one and set the threshold to about maybe 65, and then the radius to maybe 61. Okay, looking good. And then the glow intensity, let's set that to 0.3 right there. Now basically one of the advantages of creating pre-composed layer is that you can always go back and edit maybe the color or the text or whatever it is you want to edit. So for example, this color red is looking too bloody for me, so let's use something maybe within yellow that would, you know, make it pop out some more and look subtle. So let me go back to my text right here. Okay, oh sorry, my action title. Okay, so right here, let me just click here and change the color of my tint to yellow. So let's go with a yellow right there, and then we'll go to the rocky background texture also. Go to the point light, double click on it and change that to yellow also. Okay, click OK, click OK. So you can see our text is kind of popping out more better than it was before. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so next is we want to bring up curve from the effect and preset, and we want to add that to our text so that we can make our text pop out more. So I'll grab curves and drag that and put that on action title, and then I'll take that up something like this, and then bring this down to bring the shadows. So something like this looks fine. Okay, great. All right, now so we'll come to the action title, we'll press Ctrl C, Ctrl V to duplicate that layer, and then we'll select all the effect that has been added to this layer and delete all of them. So I'll select this, press delete, select, press delete, select this, press delete. Then I'll come to my effect control and search for fill and drag that and drop it on this text, and then I'll change that color to black. Click OK. Then I'll come here and search for bevel alpha. Okay, so right there, drag it, drop it here, and then the edge thickness, I'll set that to 6. Then I'll change the light angle to somewhere around here, so maybe minus 237. Okay, and then light intensity, I'll change that to 1, and then I'll come here, click on the toggle switches and change the blend mode to add. Great. So I'll select the bevel alpha effect and press Ctrl D to duplicate it a couple of times, like twice. Looks good right there. So I'll come here and search for drop shadow. Okay, so I'll add it to the one under right there. Okay, so I'll come here, change the opacity to 100. All right, so let me zoom in some more right here so I can see what I'm working on. Okay, then I'll change the distance a little bit right there so you can see the shadow coming out right there. Okay, so I might want to change the angle also to just bring it right down like that. So this looks good right here. Okay, great. Okay, so let's run preview this a little bit. So this looks good to me. Okay, now so let me go to my project panel and go bring in the lens flare, drag and drop. All right, so I have the lens flare here, and then I can drag this and put it above my layer right there and change the blending mode to screen, and we have that right here. I can also position it somewhere around here. Okay, looks good. Okay, so I don't want the lens flare to start from the beginning, So let me adjust the timing. So I'll move that somewhere around here. Okay, and let it begin from right there. Okay, so it comes and then the lens flare appears right there. Let me see that again. Okay, let me add a fade in to my lens flare at the beginning right there. So I'll come here, bring up opacity, click on the stopwatch, change it to 0 at the beginning, and then move forward a little bit and bring that to 100 so it fades in. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, so now let's come over here, create a new solid, layer, new solid, make it black. All right, then click OK. Then come up here, let's grab the ellipse tool, double click on it to create this ellipse around the composition. Then come to the max settings and change it to subtract, and press F to bring up the max feather and increase the max feather high. Okay, looking good so far. Let me change the color of this my lens flare to kind of yellow so it will match the spot action. So I'll come to lens flare, I'll come to effect and preset, go to hue, saturation. So right there, drag that, drop it on my lens flare, then play around with the colors until I get that yellow somewhere around here. Okay, great, looking good. All right, so next is I'm going to bring in one of my other footage right here, which is this splash right here. Drag that and drop it into the video also. Now we'll go to the effect and preset window and search for curves right there. And drag that, drop it on top of it right here. So next is to work on the curves. So I'll come here and we want more of the yellow to show. So by bringing up the reds a little bit, we'll do that, and bringing down some of these other ones right here. Blue, bring that down too, and okay, so that's that. So this looks good to me. Okay, so come here and create a new adjustment layer. I'll right click somewhere here, new adjustment layer. Okay, and I'll make sure that's on top, and I'll come here and search for brightness and construct. Brightness, construct, drag that on my adjustment layer and set the brightness to around 20 and the construct to around 5. Okay, and I'll come to my effect and preset window and search for noise. Drag that and drop that on the adjustment layer and change the noise amount to 5%. Then I'll also look for sharpen. Drag that and drop it into the adjustment layer and set that to 25. Okay, next is to right click and create a new null object. Okay, and then I'll select these 3 layers and then grab the pick whip and parent it to the null1 object, and then I'll come to the beginning, click on null and press P for position, S for scale, and set a keyframe right here at the beginning. Then go to the end and just scale it up a little bit to maybe 110. Okay, all right, so next is let's create a new solid layer. Okay, click OK, and then come to the toolbar right here to rectangle and double click on it to create a rectangle, and come here and also double click on it. Hold down Alt and Control while I drag, and it should give me something like this, and that looks good. Then I'll come to the max option and change it to subtract. Great. And we're done with our tutorial, guys. So all I need to do is to run preview this and you see the final project. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section, and hit that like button if you know you enjoyed this video. Smash the subscribe button if you know you want to see more videos like this, and click on the notification bell so that you can receive updates when I release new videos. Now, if you're a beginner to After Effects and you would like to learn After Effects all the way from scratch, I have an online course that will do that just for you. Check it out in the link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video.